So this might actually be one of the cleanest ways to build a massive home theater experience without buying an enormous television. This is the LG CineBeam HF85LA Ultra Short Throw Laser Projector, and after testing it for entertainment, gaming, and streaming, it genuinely feels like one of the smartest upgrades for a modern living room. Normally, when people think about projectors, they imagine complicated setups, ceiling mounts, dim visuals, loud cooling fans, and a lot of extra effort just to watch content on a bigger screen. But this projector changes that entire idea immediately. The first thing that stands out is how unbelievably close it can sit to the wall while still creating a huge image. That ultra-short throw technology completely changes the setup experience. Instead of placing the projector across the room, you keep it just inches away from the wall and still get an incredibly large display. And honestly, that convenience alone makes a huge difference. No wires stretching through the room, no people walking through the projection path, and no complicated installation process. Keeps the setup simple, modern, and clean. The overall design also looks surprisingly premium. LG clearly wanted this projector to blend naturally into modern interiors instead of looking like oversized tech equipment. The white finish, compact shape, and minimal aesthetic make it feel more like part of the room than a gadget sitting in the corner. But obviously the most important thing here is the actual viewing experience. Watching movies on this feels dramatically different compared to a regular television. The giant display instantly creates a more cinematic atmosphere. Action scenes feel bigger, sports become more immersive, and streaming content suddenly feels much more engaging. The laser projection system performs really well too. Colors appear vivid and punchy, contrast levels remain solid, and image sharpness stays surprisingly clean even at larger screen sizes. Full HD content looks crisp enough that most users will be completely satisfied for everyday entertainment. Nighttime viewing is easily where this projector feels the most impressive. Dim the lights, start a movie, and the entire room transforms into a theater-like environment. It's one of those experiences that feels difficult to explain until you actually see it in person. Another thing that improves the experience is the smart functionality built directly into the system. Streaming apps, wireless connectivity, and navigation all feel modern and responsive. You don't immediately need extra hardware just to start watching content, which makes the setup process much easier. Some projectors still feel outdated when it comes to software and interface design, but this one feels much more polished. Browsing menus is smooth, loading apps is quick, and the overall experience feels user-friendly. Audio quality from the built-in speakers is also better than expected. For casual watching, it's perfectly usable. Of course, connecting a dedicated soundbar or home theater system takes the experience to another level, but for basic use, the speakers perform well enough. Brightness is another area where this projector surprised me. In darker environments, the image quality looks fantastic. During daytime usage with moderate lighting, it still remains very watchable. Direct sunlight will always reduce projector performance, but for normal living room conditions this holds up better than many people expect. Gaming also becomes incredibly fun on a screen this large. Racing games feel immersive, sports titles feel massive, and open-world games suddenly feel much more cinematic. The larger display changes the entire atmosphere of gaming sessions. And I think that's really the biggest strength of this projector. It changes the scale of entertainment. Once you get comfortable watching everything on a giant display, smaller televisions start feeling noticeably less immersive. There's also something really satisfying about having a huge screen experience without permanently mounting a giant TV on the wall. When the projector is turned off, the room still looks clean and minimalist. Portability is another underrated advantage here. Moving large televisions can be frustrating and stressful, while this setup is significantly easier to relocate if needed. Different room, different apartment, different arrangement, much easier to manage. Now, obviously, there are still limitations. Like most projectors, darker rooms always produce the best results. Built-in speakers are decent but not incredible. And if someone expects OLED-level black depth, that's still a completely different category of display technology. But considering the ultra-short throw capability, laser projection quality, smart software features, minimalist design, and the overall cinematic experience, this projector delivers a seriously impressive package. What surprised me most was how quickly this became part of daily entertainment. After spending time with a giant projected display, regular televisions suddenly feel much smaller than before. So if you want a cleaner entertainment setup, a more immersive movie experience, or a modern alternative to traditional TVs, this projector definitely deserves attention. Hi guys, if you want to buy this LG CineBeam FHD projector HF85LA DLP Ultra Short Throw Laser Home Theater Smart Projector, white, then please visit the link provided in the description. And honestly, once you start watching movies, gaming, or streaming on a display this large, it becomes really difficult to go back to a normal screen size.